YouTube, good day and good evening to all. Uh, you are tuning in to a hardware discussion in this video, and I don't often do this. A lot of my videos are network based. The discussion is built around carriers in terms of network performance, data speed tests, promotions, and spectrum and bandwidth and such, and on and on and on. And all that's fine and dandy. We really like that. But today, uh, what I want to do is discuss something that I, seem to uh, enjoy. Actually, is the up and coming hardware in the smartphone realm. So, the company being discussed in today's video is Huawei, and I think the pronunciation is right. Huawei. It's a Chinese smartphone brand, which is a massive smartphone brand in China. I believe they are the highest selling smartphone brand there. And we all know that China has a lot of people. So I don't know if it's still number one, but if not, they are number two in terms of population, people. So Huawei is reportedly in talks with at&t in terms of smartphone distribution. So here's Huawei trying to leave an imprint on the U.S. market. And actually, what they're doing is they're trying to break their way into the market. So the current situation is Huawei is a Chinese brand based out of China, and there is a little bit of hesitation from carriers in the U.S. and America as a whole with Chinese government, their influence in the company, and on and on. So there's a lot of uh, caution with Huawei becoming a prominent smartphone maker in the U.S. So in this article, actually, it kind of covers the potential that maybe at&t is looking to probably, get some of the Huawei hardware into their stores. Now, to kind of cover in the basics what this article is about, and I read the whole thing and I went to the link and I saw it in a couple different places. Huawei is a huge manufacturer. They don't need at&t necessarily, but what they do need is they need American carriers to trust in their products and to sell them in their stores. Because things are a little bit different here in the States compared to, say, what goes on internationally. Now, some people here in the States do buy unlocked device. And when they buy the unlocked device, they do so by paying it in full upfront. When it comes to high-end hardware, that's very expensive. People will be spending upwards of $600, $700, $800 straight up to buy an iPhone or a Galaxy, like a Note or an S7 or whatever. Anything that's coming out that's high-end, that's premium, is going to be at a premium price point. Huawei would love to enter the premium price market, even if that means, you know, having to undercut those brands slightly. So Huawei does make some excellent hardware. They have very good cameras. They have very good processors in the Kirin chips. Performance on Huawei phones are excellent, especially the high-end models. And what they need is to get their phones, their hardware, into these carrier stores and have them get pushed into people's hands. And they know that if their product is good enough, all it takes is people to give them a look, give them a shot, and they know that they'll get those customers. So how do you do that in America? You've got to get your products inside of cell phone carrier stores. Because I'm sure, and I'm not positive exactly what the percentage is, I would say probably half or more of people are still purchasing their phones through a carrier here in the U.S. and not necessarily unlocked or direct from the manufacturer. Now, some people, say for instance, will buy the Galaxy S7, S7 Edge, whatever it is. Their options are to either buy it from Samsung or they can buy it from a carrier. What's the advantage of buying through a carrier? Your carrier provides you support. Your carrier provides you with an in-store experience. Your carrier also gives you an option to pay over payments and installments. Some manufacturers don't allow it. I think Samsung does. I'm not sure. But some manufacturers don't allow that. So what they're trying to do is trying to get their phones into these carrier stores so their devices can sell. And they'll offer a nice portfolio of devices. They'll probably offer a couple models in the high end, like the Huawei Mate series. like the what's I don't know what the new one is. It the P10, the Honor series, like the Honor 8, which actually is a very affordable flagship at a good price. If they get these phones into carrier stores, they would sell because they're going to undercut the iPhones and the Galaxies of the world to try to sell and get these phones into people's hands. And then through word of mouth, they're hoping, hey, maybe these customers can show other people, here's a really, really nice piece of hardware, functions great, has great features, and it's much more affordable, maybe even half the cost of an iPhone or a Galaxy, and so on. So Huawei doesn't necessarily need AT&T, but AT&T is, up there as a top two carrier in the U.S. So, here's a situation where you'd be getting a lot of potential buyers to look at their products. So AT&T being the second biggest carrier in the U.S. creates a lot of potential sales for Huawei. Okay, getting their services, getting their products out there would be huge. Uh, and they're not to say they'd be opposed to T-Mobile or Sprint, but they're just trying to get their feet in the door. They're just trying to get into the U.S. market. So I thought this was interesting. I can share my experiences with a Huawei device. I had the Nexus 6P. It's an excellent device. Very, very nice piece of hardware. Runs great over stock Android. I would love to see Huawei make an impact on the U.S. market. I would love to see their hardware in carrier stores. They are great devices, excellent hardware. They make their own processors in-house called the Kirin series. Very, very capable, as good or better than some Snapdragon processors. When the Snapdragon 810 was overheating, a Huawei Kirin processor in a phone, was outperforming the Snapdragon 810 and not overheating, not having those same issues. So where Snapdragon has slipped up, they've created openings for, other, chip makers, the SoCs like Kirin and MediaTek and these other companies to try to make their own. So something I thought was interesting, if you don't know Huawei as a brand, they are a massive brand worldwide, not in the U.S., but they're trying to get, their foot in the door and get the opportunity. So here's to the potential of them possibly making some noise here in the States, and I'd love to see it. I'm all about the competition. I would love to see Samsung and Apple have to respond to these guys because they are huge. They're chip makers. They have their own in-house SoC. They make their own hardware. They do make excellent designs, and they're beautiful devices. I'd love to see them in AT&T stores, possibly Verizon stores, and even T-Mobile stores, Sprint, whatever the case may be. So that's it for this video. Just the potential of an up-and-coming hardware company, big outside of the U.S., but trying to make their imprint here in the U.S., trying to kick down some doors. So we'll see what comes of this, and thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe to the channel. There'll be more of these types of videos on hardware as they come, and stay tuned for the potential speed test and on the Verizon network and discussions on carriers and other things, smartphone and smartphone network. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one. Peace.